Pleasure meeting you. I mean, it's been great starting to work with the team. I think, as I said before, this has been a period of connecting, but also, of course, for me, getting to learn the players and to see how they function in the different things that we want to do with the team, and their willingness to work hard, to adapt, to be accountable, has really been phenomenal so far.
With you, of course, being new to the league, you have a lot of players that are new to the league as well. Of course, some players and significant ones that have returned from last season and seasons past. Do you have a gauge of this team's potential, or are you so early in the process where maybe you're not thinking too much about how you might stack up with competition across the league? Like, where are you in that process and just trying to evaluate where this team is as it relates to the rest of the league?
I mean, there's no doubt that there is a lot of change for the team, both on and off the pitch, if we compare to previous seasons. And we're in the process here now of constantly seeing what works, what doesn't work, what do we need to improve on. And I think that's the most important process that we are in. And then I think the honest answer is that we would need to start playing more games against the opposition to get a really good sense of where we're at and what improvements and developments we need to take.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Tim Graney, we'll go with you next.
Welcome, Coach. It's great to have you. Can you talk a little bit about the style of play that you want to implement in the team, drawing on your experiences in the WSL and in the Damasvecken?
Yeah, I think it's obviously always a combination when you're coming in as a coach where you have, of course, my knowledge and my way of viewing the game. At the same time, that has to be a blend with how the players are seeing the game and how we can play to get the best out of them as individuals and as a team. I believe very much in soccer that is a game where you control your positions. And for me, that's a really important starting point because that gives us a good framework in order of where we look at and what options we do provide. Then soccer is a relational sport, so it's really, really important to build together these connections with the players that you have close by you on the pitch. And that part requires time when you train together to build that level of communication. But the idea around that we all understand what we need to do in certain situations on the game, that's where my starting point always is, because then we can be on the same page when we're playing soccer. And usually when teams are that, it goes pretty well.
Thank you. I'm with travel football. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Alejandro, we'll have you go next.
Hey, Jonas, thank you for the time. Alejandro with San Diego Punto Futbol. I wanted to ask about Savannah McCaskill. Last season, she was an important piece in that midfield, especially in the attacking front. Do you see her or using her more as the attacking front, or will she be more like defensive or overall just in the midfield?
Again, we're early on in the season, and these are exactly things like this that we're at the moment looking at and seeing at which positions the players can fill in and be the best versions of themselves and form really good partnerships with players around them. No doubt, she's a very talented player, Savannah, and she has the ability to play in different positions in midfield, and we just need to find which is our best role for the team.
And I also wanted to ask about Kenza Dolly. She recently joined the team. What can you tell us about her play style and just how important she'll be in the midfield as well?
Kenza, of course, great international experience. I had the privilege to watch her very closely in the WSL for many years in England. I think she brings both a mindset, a skill set, and an experience to the team that is very much needed. But again, she's only been with us here now for a few days, so we just need to get her time to settle in not only in the way we're playing, but also with the jet lag.
Thanks.
Eduardo, we'll go to you next.
Hey, Coach Eduardo with 365 Football Mania. I wanted to ask, how are you seeing the team chemistry? What has impressed you the most? And what are some things you are still working on to get right with the season right around the corner?
Yeah, as I said before, I think the willingness to learn and to take responsibility has really stood out as a real positive from the group. And I think that's a great foundation to develop things. I mean, yes, the season starts in not so many weeks. We have worked even fewer weeks together as a team. We will need to have a developing mindset on all the time. And that's not only coming here saying it's preseason. For me, we need to find a way of working where we develop and we learn and we grow during the whole season. That's going to be so important for us, especially with the amount of change we've had from last season and where we want to go more long term. So we can't think of the season as only preseason is development and only the season then it's just sort of maintaining and competing. We need to have a developing mindset through the whole season.
Also, I wanted to follow up. How are you taking these Coachella games? I was there last weekend, and these clubs are taking it very serious in terms of wanting to win, score, and push the players and really see where the team is at physically, like to start the season.
Yeah, well, I think the two games are very different, to speak honestly. I mean, the first game against Houston, it's great. It's going to be our second friendly game here for the season. It's a great opportunity to play against another team in the league. But after that, when we're in Coachella, the international players leave. They're on international break. I yeah. I've never experienced before that you put a training tournament when there is international break and you don't have access to your international players. But now it is like that. So then we do the best of that, and it's a great possibility for us to see younger players, to see players that we haven't seen so much before in the season, and continue to work with partnerships on some of them. But I find the timing rather odd. Why we would go and play that tournament at this time and why we hadn't done it the week before.
All right. Abraham, bring us home.
Hey, Jonas, thank you for the time. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Maria Sanchez. We just spoke with her, and she's been in the league for a while. What does she bring to your team as an attacking player?
I mean, she has a great left foot in both open play and in set piece situation. I think that's an obvious standout. I also think she's working with her now. Good tactical understanding of the game, really passionate about being better, about helping the team, and good technical ability in small spaces. So a lot of good offensive qualities.
And you spoke about, having a developing mindset over the season, but all the games and all the results count the same at the end of the day. How do you find that balance during the season when you might be trying to make an extra push for a playoff spot?
I mean, for me, having a developing mindset is not about finding an excuse that you don't want to have a performance or a result when you're doing that. Those two things for me goes hand in hand. These are not opposites of each other. So of course we will always try to do our very best to win, but it's a very big difference on how you are viewing your performances and what you focus on. Because for me, results comes as a result of the way you perform as a team. It's not the other way around. So when we focus on our performances, that will give us the best probability to win also. And if you only focus on results and you don't focus on performances, that's why you might end up being for me, in a negative spiral, because you don't know why you are not getting results or why you are getting good results, because then you can't repeat it again. So that's why, for me, the goal in the end is always the results, but our focus, it's on the performance and on development, because that's what's going to give us the results.